All right, gents, so we are currently on the Need for Speed Unbound Reddit, and I just wanted to get on here and see how the community is actually liking the update. A lot of people have said it's good, a lot of people have said it's bad, but I wanted to just see the feedback, the questions, the bugs, and everything like that that is currently going on in the Reddit. Me personally, the update seems to be probably the best update that has ever come out for this game from Volume 1 all the way up to now, right? Volume 7, Drift and Drag, definitely is up there, but I think Volume 8 truly brought way more of the community back together. Definitely because of the Hot Pursuit update, the cops. That's what a lot of people have wanted. They've wanted more intense cop chases, cop races, things of that nature, right? And the Drift and Drag definitely had a lot of people that loved drag, that loved drift. Definitely had them come back. But on top of that, we already have that community in the game now, right? But now we have people that have come back because of Hot Pursuit, because of the cops and things like that, right? So we're going to just get straight into it. Let's see what they're talking about. Now, this one, I wanted to start with this one right here, just because it says Volume 8 feedback by Bushi Doko, brah. I don't know how to say that, but we're just going to go ahead and go through it. All right, NFS. I see you guys hitting the community for feedback often. Actually, let me do this for you guys. Now, I know you guys keep an eye on the sub. Volume 8 is a pretty cool addition to the game, and I'm a little halfway through the pass at this point and just finished the challenges for the R34 police car, and I have a lot to say. All right, cool. Now, I'm assuming a lot of this is going to be cops, Hot Pursuit, Nerf cops, buff racers, stuff like that, because clearly that's a problem, right? That's clearly a problem. So, Hot Pursuit. I think the mode itself as a base is really dope for Unbound, though I do feel like the cops are way too overpowered. I already got a video on that if y'all want to see it. My first NFS was Hot Pursuit 2. There was a balance there since the cops only really had spikes, blocks, and a helicopter. Hot Pursuit 2010 gave the police more power, but also gave the racers a standing chance. Exactly. That's one of the problems that I have with this update as well. They seem like they're completely on the cop side. There's no tech at all for racers, except for, impact protection, things of that nature, right? But we need jammers. We need all those sort of things. That's what we truly need. We don't need just impact protection or repair kits, especially if there's gas stations already. The police are just way too overpowered, guys. Police changes. I think it would be cool if the pursuits were actually 4v4 instead of 4v4 featuring the entire Lakeshore Police Department. Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you want to race the AI and you want to go against cop AI, then go to single player. Then go to just regular free roam, right? But the fact that there's so many AI in this game, it is crazy. Like, that is ridiculous, right? They're an issue for racers, yes, but they do more harm than good for the police side of things, too. They just get in the way majority of the time. I take less AI cops in favor of more dense roadblocks, maybe. Roadblocks, you can definitely get around the roadblocks. Like, I'm not that bad, right? But roadblocks are already, I feel like that's just perfect. How they are, how they spawn in now, perfect. They don't need to be any less anymore. As racers get busted, the race gets harder since there is more focus on them, right? That's what I said as well. But I think that it's a little too much to give the already strong cops more of an advantage by giving them the racers after a bust. I think it should be like 2010, where if you get busted, you have to put your faith in the remaining drivers. That can also promote more of a teamwork aspect among us racers. That boy had to watch the video, man. This man, me and him connected. Me and him are connected right now. Crazy. Finally, I feel like the vitality of the cops should matter. In Hot Pursuit 2010 and Rivals, the police could be taken out of the chase if damaged beyond critical. That's a good point right there. As it stands, the cops can hit their own strips, crash and respawn with full health, and basically disregard any and all risk of losing in order to get a bust or takedown. That right there is why you should not be engaging with cops, because you have a single life. Yes, you could go through gas stations, but that's it. Once the gas stations are behind you and you're on low, that's it, man. That's it. But cops, they can literally keep crashing into traffic, other cops, AI, racers, roadblocks, all that sort of stuff, and just keep on going over and over and over again. I think that maximum cops should get 3 lives. If you crash 3 times, you're done. That's it. You should not be respawning infinitely. That is ridiculous. Simple fixes can be things such as taking away spike immunity. Yep, see, even the AI cops. Yep, I do notice that as well. They do get hurt from the spikes. And not allowing a cop to return after damaging critical wrecks. That would also get more players to choose the Range Rover and other heavier class cars you may add later on purpose instead of for the sake of a challenge. Okay. Yeah, he definitely cooked on this one, 100%. whatever, all the stuff that I said in my video, he said right here. So if you guys just want to go to his post, then by all means, literally the exact same things that he said, I said as well. So that just shows that it's not just me, right? You can see that a lot of the community has a problem with cops. Now, the favorite argument for everybody else that doesn't have a problem with it, allegedly, is that, oh, you haven't played the old Need for Speeds, you haven't played this, you haven't played that, and that's fine, right? Just because I haven't played all the older Need for Speeds does not mean that the cops are not blatantly broken in this game. It's clearly obvious that the cops are way more OP against the racers. Like, that's so obvious. So I get the correlation, but at the same time, you can't really use that as an excuse for why the cops are so OP. Racer changes. I mentioned already that the racers used to stand a chance, right? Anti-pursuit tech may be overkill, but if in exchange for less AI police, the tech could actually do damage like it used to, like spikes and EMP, a jammer for the racers would be useful. Precisely. Maybe one use per race. Excuse me, the way that they be spamming stuff with all this tech, I would say minimum of 3 times per race. Minimum of 3 times. Depending on, you know, the tier, and also depending on how long the track is, it could go from 1, maybe 1 is enough, or it could go up to like 3, based on, you know, longer tracks like S and S plus, you know. Or you could allow impact protection at the very least, and we do have it. We have impact protection, but like I said, you cannot out damage the cops. If you even with impact protection, if you ram a cop full on, both of y'all at full speeds, they will crash you out every single time. Cops have higher damage numbers from base than the racers do, right? Even if you have an F-150, even if you have one of the trucks as a racer, it does not matter. Even when because you know how it says low by the cop's damage, that low damage is higher than the racer's top damage. When you're getting jumped by a bajillion cops, it can be pretty egregious. Giving the racers a spike is also an option. And you know, it just needs to be like, it just needs to be, you just need spawn protection. That's really all it is. You should be able to be safe for a solid 2 seconds before cops just keep on ramming you over and over and over again. Especially because you spawn in and you spawn in at 0 miles per hour. You have no power to your wheels at all. If you spawned in at maybe like 50, 60, okay, I can understand if you don't have as much spawn protection. Definitely have like a second or two, but if you're spawning at 0, it needs to be at least 2-3 seconds spawn protection so you can get your speed back up. You see what I'm saying? Now, general changes. Spawning is explosive on both sides. Cops can jump the front too often, definitely with that teleportation stuff, that tactical jump as they love to call it. And racers can just lead a cop off course to avoid them, they respawn. Yep. Maybe give racers a small damage occurrence on respawn from track exit, and give cops a longer cooldown on the front jump. So, small damage occurrence on respawn, that could get real messy, especially if the cops are hitting you out of the checkpoints, which they love to do. So you're on top of you getting hit already by cops and by AI and by other racers, because you know they don't know what they're doing. Now you're taking damage when you get hit out of a checkpoint unintentionally. So, nah, I will say as a caveat to that, it can't be possible. If they're going to do that, it should not be possible to get busted by yourself just by going out of checkpoints. Your health will still go down, but it will stop at like 1%. It shouldn't be possible in order for you to get busted from just, you know, leaving a checkpoint or respawning in general, you know? Alrighty, let's see. Also on the topic of spawning, respawning from a wreck or a course out at basically a standstill is a recipe for disaster. You often just spawn into another rear end collision. Exactly. There have been times where I've lost all my health in about 5 seconds because of a bad respawn into a bust. I've seen that so many times, guys, and people get so frustrated because there's literally nothing you can do. You spawn in, 0 miles per hour, no power, boom, a cop hits you. Boom, you spawn in, no power, boom, another cop hits you. Spawn in, no power, 0 miles per hour, and the AI comes out of nowhere, boom, and there you go, busted just like that. That needs to be fixed for sure. Like I said before, spawn protection. Progression. I don't have much to say here. I think a challenge system is cool, and I understand that Unbound receiving a mode like this is kind of a big game changer. All I ask is that the cop career be points based instead of forcing players into vehicles they may not want to drive. Okay, so he's basically saying, he's basically saying that the cop cars that you start off with, he would rather them, well, this is what I think he's saying, that he would rather that if you get a certain amount of points, you're able to spend those points on a car that you want to use, like the Corvette, like the Porsches, the Range Rover, instead of starting in the Crown Vic. That's what I think he's saying right here. But that's all I've got. Thanks for reading. If anyone has opinions and wants to chime in or dispute, please do. I typed this up for us in hopes that it gets through. Year 2 of asking for louder cars. And you know what? I will say that if you guys haven't noticed, if you idle in the Audi R8 with the V8 engine, it sounds way better. I don't know if that's maybe me hearing things, but it sounds way, way, way better. So I think they might have, behind the scenes kind of tweaked a little bit of sound for the cars. Alrighty. So Tiny Cheesecake says, honestly, I cannot agree more on this entire summary. By the way, racers do have impact protection. It's just not good. Precisely. And you know what? I won't even say that. I will just say that the cops' damage profile is so high that it acts like it doesn't do anything. Because when you do have impact protection against AI cops in single player or in regular multiplayer free roam, it does do something, right? But the cops, their damage is just so high that it doesn't even matter. Understandable, feels like it's not even there. Precisely. Pretty much my wish list for this game. Bring back the features of EA tracks for the soundtrack to turn off songs. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people say that as well. They don't like how Need for Speed has went in the direction of the music. I think half of the music is decent. I don't know what that candy or cake song that keeps replaying every 5 minutes. That song is terrible. And I know it has stuff to do with licensing and money, but half those songs they're not even in English. Half of them don't even need to be on there. I think what he did was perfect. Completely different songs between daytime and nighttime. Daytime was, tropical rap type of songs, hip hop. And then nighttime was just gritty rap songs. That's what I think they should have did, man. That was perfect right there. Give racers the weapons to fight off cops. Absolutely, we need racer tech. Respawn as a ghost for a few seconds as to not get rammed continuously from behind. Pause, no diddy. Because I know some of y'all are going to type that in the chat. Be able to drive in free roam and make liveries with the cop cars. I don't know why they didn't add that. That seems like such a easy thing to do. Such a quality of life thing that people would want. How are you going to tease us with cars, but we're only able to use them in playlists? But the cars are right there. We can literally see the cars. We can drive the cars, but we can't leave the garage with the cars in free roam. That's so crazy, right? Add special events like ambulances rushing to the ER. Yeah, to make the open world more immersive. That's probably not gonna happen just because, small dev team, time constraints, things of that nature. They're probably already working on volume 9 right now, if not volume 10. I don't know if these volumes have been stacked up ahead of time. I know the cars have been stacked up ahead of time, but the roadmap probably does not have any room for something like this, so they're probably not going to do it. If anything, I think they would probably add it in single player before multiplayer, just because they haven't added anything into single player, so it might be easier for them to lump that in with everything if they were to add it. But remember, they said in the volume 7 notes, they are no longer adding anything to single player. It is not on their agenda. That is something for the next Need for Speed game. Bug fixes and quality of life improvements, of course. Yep. This new update, I don't know what's going on, but this new update by far has to be the most buggy, most crashy update. I don't know if it's not optimized for console, but it is terrible. The loading times are crazy long. They were already long before, but now they are stupid long. I don't know what's going on with that. My game is crashing, and I'm on PS5. I have it for PC as well. Same thing on there. I tested on both systems. I don't have it on my Xbox. I don't want to pay for Unbound for a third time, right? So I don't have it on there. I don't know what that system is, but if it is acting up, just let me know in the comments down below, guys. Add a new higher difficulty level for AI cops. I mean, Heat 5 is pretty... It's not difficult, but it can be annoying for sure. So you know what? I can see why people would say that. But as long as they're not on the level of player cops, then that's fine with me, right? Heat 6... but I feel like if they were to add another heat level, it would have been in this update, right? It wouldn't be in the new update. It wouldn't have been in Drift and Drag. It would have been in this update because this is literally having to do with Hot Pursuit and cops and racers. So I don't think that's going to happen, but that is a great idea for sure. I really want them to buff the auxiliary stuff or maybe add some new ones specifically for Hot Pursuit mode. The repair kit as it is now is useless because it takes forever to activate, and it will only activate when you're in critical condition. The AUX that increases ramming damage just doesn't have any point because taking out player cops has no effect since they could just redeploy in front of you. And also remember, guys, you're not doing damage to them. You're not doing as much damage as you think you are. I promise you're not. They do way more damage. I would even bet they do double damage against you than you do against them for sure. Now the repair kit, I don't know why they didn't just do it like Heat, where you just press O for PlayStation and B. I've got my Xbox controller right here, and B for Xbox. I don't know why they didn't just keep that, where you just press it and then boom, your health bar fills right back up. I don't know why they did some automatic. You got to be in critical. I don't know, but I don't think they'll change that either. That's been in the game since, what, Volume 1? I don't think they're going to change that, guys. But that is definitely a big thing that I've noticed. I just want to be able to use at least an S-class car against S+ cops. Being a cop, you have unlimited NOS, and you can close the gap on A-class cars way too quick. So, you can use S cars. You just have to be in the S+ playlist. You are able to use S-class cars, though. That's in the game already. Need to have better class setup in Hot Pursuit, running A-class raise when the opponents have S-class crosses vet is nuts. Okay, that grammar was kind of crazy. Almost had a brain aneurysm trying to decipher it, but I see what he means. I definitely see what he means by far. A should not be going against S+. I said in my video that cops should be, if not the same tier, maybe a tier above. So if you're A, then it should be A+. Just like S and S+, that's perfectly fine. Because even with S cars, you're able to outrun the cops, even with unlimited NOS. So they are S+, but they're stock S+. So to put that in perspective, that's like if a car were to come out for Unbound and it's already in the S+ tier, but there's no upgrades on it. There's no induction. There's no pro ECU. There's nothing. There's no elite parts on it. It's just stock. It just happens to be an S+. That's what the cop cars are. Griefing sucks in Hot Pursuit mode. Don't know if it's new or not. Recently, for the first time, I've run into undercover cop car in open world. Light ramming into initiated chase. I saw a police icon above black undercover car, but no icon on minimap. I mean, undercover cop cars don't have an icon on the minimap though. I'm like 100% sure, right? I don't know what he's talking about right here. Let me see. Let me look at the replies. It's an ordinate. Yeah, so the police Camaros, the undercover, I'm pretty sure they don't have an icon. I could be wrong. A lot of that stuff tends to be overlooked because that's not something you think about, but I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they already don't have an icon because they are undercover, right? Maybe they should add that turbo back. Yes, but half the track, no, like 90% of the tracks, where would we even use it? The tracks have so many curves in them that it wouldn't really make sense to put turbo in the game, except for S+, right? Highway races and stuff like that. But this already, there's so many curves in the game already for these tracks. Where would you even use the turbo, you know? Now, turbo in Hot Pursuit Remastered, a lot of the tracks were just straightaways. They had a little bit of S curves and everything, but they were a lot of straightaways where you could just go, press the turbo, boom, you're going, right? But you know what? I would like that in the game for sure. Agree with all of these except the no switching sides after a bust. I don't think it makes it harder for the racers, since especially once it gets down to 1v7, cops just end up ramming into each other, intentionally or not, until the round ends. And so it does make it harder if you have cops that know what they're doing, and also racers that are kind of mad that they didn't make it. It definitely makes it harder for sure. But I do like how they include the racers that got busted, because that would split up so many lobbies. Because I know a lot of people in PvP would leave as soon as they get busted, because they're like, why am I sitting here watching them when I could jump into another lobby and perhaps win, become a cop already, get more money, get XP and everything. I'm wasting time watching these guys, spectating. So I do like how they incorporated the busted racers. That's pretty cool. I haven't got any massive problems with the game right now, but they all feel like small enough things that I can't help wonder why they haven't been addressed yet. Apart from the new cop mode. Okay. Recurring things. EA tracks. Okay. Okay, so this is a PC issue right here. Okay, PvP mode. Excuse me, guys. I want to play just S plus or A. Okay, that is, yeah, that's one thing that I can definitely agree with. I don't know why they didn't just put that in the game, because they definitely could do it. I don't know why it's on a rotation for the tiers when all they have to do is you have the four blocks that you usually have, and then you click on the one that does PvP races, and then it gives you like a branch out, and it goes from B, A plus, S, and then S plus. And then you click on one and it will automatically put you in a lobby with people that are like-minded like yourself. I feel like they could have done that, but I don't know why they do that. Maybe they didn't have the time for it. Maybe they just felt it was too hard. They were being lazy. But if they did that, it would help so much with PvP, especially on not even just the regular, racers, but like the comp side as well. When people are practicing for tracks and just want to race in that tier, they don't want to have to wait a whole week or a few days rather for the tier to come back. Because me personally, I love A plus. A plus is my favorite, and I hate when I wake up one day, I hop on a game after work, and I think it's A plus and it's S. And I'm like, dude, now I gotta wait for S plus, B, A, and A plus. Yes, some people may call me impatient, but at the same time, it's just a small quality of life update that definitely would have made PvP a lot more fun for everybody, right? So these are comp mode specific issues. We've definitely, yeah, it's just skewed in comp's favor. Infinite NOS spikes. Yeah, so this is all the stuff we've already went over, guys. V8s. Okay. Now, I do have one more right here. So I actually have two more. I have two more right here, but we are going a little bit overboard. Well, it's already 21 minutes, so we're going to get through these a little bit quicker, right? Call me weird, but this volume seems very fun and enjoyable, which it is. And there's a slim chance I might be the only few that actually enjoy the mode. I won't say that. I think everybody enjoys the mode in general. I think they just don't enjoy getting bashed by the cops because the cops are so OP. That's what it is. But if the cops weren't OP, everybody would love this mode for sure. But I think everybody appreciates the devs for the update that they've dropped by far. A bit chaotic and unbalanced, but kind of fun. If you're playing as a cop, right? Disappointed about not playing with the cop cars in the open world. We've already went over that. That should have been in the game. I don't know why it's not in the game. Paid cop cars and cosmetics locked behind one event type is ridiculous. No reason for them not letting own and use comp variants and races in free roam without pursuit tech, obviously. These easily could have been added as a custom, and locking cosmetics like plates and effects on cop cars only is also stupid. I think they did that. I can see why that would be stupid, but I think they did that to entice people to actually grind out the cop career. That's why I think they did that. That's my headcanon on that one, I love the new mode. It's hilarious playing it with friends. I hope they nerf for cops a little bit. Okay, cool. Yep. I'm only playing for the 559 or what? The 959 in the Evija. Hot Pursuit mode is fun for a while, but the chaos makes it annoying. Yeah, like if Hot Pursuit mode, I can play that. I played it for 5 hours when it first dropped. About 5.5 hours. After that, I was done. Hot Pursuit is one of those things where you play it for a little while, but it can definitely get annoying. 100%. It can definitely get very, 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 very annoying, Alrighty. So yeah, Card Street is dropping. That's W's. Alrighty. Whose bright idea was it able to press a button when playing a cop and be teleported in front of the entire race, and then on top of that be able to spam that ability over and over again? We already talked about tactical jump. Nerf tactical jump. Maximum 5 times. Maximum 5 times. I personally have been in levels or in races against racers as a cop where I have spammed it at least 12 times. That is ridiculous. That is crazy. Either put a time limit on it or definitely just nerf it in between like 3 to 5 times per thing. Fun but very unbalanced. So yeah, like performance issues and everything like that. The cop slow-mo, I've heard about that. Yep. And yeah, so a lot of the stuff typically seems to be they want to drive cop cars and cop cars need to be nerfed. That's what it is. I'm having a lot of fun with it. That's good. Potato, W's. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my goodness. Jeez Louise. That's hurt my eyes. Okay, teleportability. We already went over that. I disagree with requesting cops in free roam. That's different. Okay, gets the grain. Other players are the biggest D's I've ever seen in this game when playing cops, and I would hate to run into any of them in free roam. However, a cop version of the map would be fun when it's nighttime all the time instead of normal daytime. And you could join as a cop or a racer if you were into that. Link ups could become cop versus racer events. However, I'd rather have 0 cops in free roam than something half that allows multiplayer cops bullying douchebaggery. Okay. The teleport ahead, turn around, and drive head on into traffic over and over and over again is such a terrible tactic because it rarely works. Bad cap. Bad cap, bro. I would say this right here works 50-60% of the time for sure. That is crazy to me, man. So I'm not gonna go through all of that stuff. I'm not gonna go through all of this stuff, man, because this is a lot. If you guys do want to go over this, I will link this in the description below, but I'm not gonna go through all of this sort of stuff. Okay, so the Porsche Taycan. Okay, I've seen a lot of people use that car as well. Alrighty, cop car should be drivable. Yep. Customization locked behind a paywall. We talked about that as well. They need a nerf. Oh, that's a very interesting way of spelling nerf. Okay. Hard pass. I wonder why. Hard pass, fast paced and thrilling. It's fun, some slight tweaks. Yeah, that's what it is, man. They just need to just go back in the game real quick and just go ahead and drop a few nerfs and it'll be all right. If I were you guys, I'd grind the cop career now while you can and while the cops are OP. You know what? That could be a good option because if they nerf them into the ground, you know how COD will release a weapon and then they'll nerf it into the ground and it sucks? If they do that for the cops, your challenges are going to be 10 times worse. So you know what? I think that might be that might be a smart idea, y'all. Excuse me. It's fun and I don't think it's unbalanced. I suck as a cop and racer, so I lose anyway. That's crazy how they got downvoted for that. It's unplayable and definitely let enjoyable. A total mess, a total disaster, you name it. It's absolutely R-word. Spams of EMPs, spams of spike strips, non-stop abuse if you're the first, endless bullying and stupidity. I feel like you could have said that a little bit better, but it's not unplayable and it's not unenjoyable, right? I have fun on this game. It's just that it gets annoying when there's a lot of gimmicks going on, like no spawn protection and stuff like that, like I already mentioned. So I wouldn't say it's a total mess. I think they for the small dev team of what, 8-9 people, they did a good job. They hit it on the mark. They just didn't bullseye it, but it was in the circle. They just got to go ahead and go back in and just kind of tighten it up a little bit. That's all they got to do, man. It's nothing like that. Okay, volume 8 is horrible. Let me explain why. Okay, so this one, there's not a lot of comments on this one, so we'll go through this one, guys. This update is just utterly horrible. Volumes 3 through 7 were absolutely fun. Didn't some of those volumes just add hot laps and all that sort of stuff? Not even really anything that was added to the game. It was just like random cars and random events. Link ups was good. Hot laps was not though. Hot laps was terrible. But you know what? I'm gonna just let them. I'm gonna see. I felt that the content was added to the game was a great step in the right direction with things. Yes, the inclusion of the speed pass was kind of an unexpected thing, and I completely understand why it had to be implemented. EA being EA, precisely. But after the inclusion of this volume, I'm just sitting here wondering what happened. Sorry. Let's see. Let's dive in. To start off, most of the cop equipment is absolutely useless. That is bad cap. That is terrible cap. That is, whoa, buddy. You deploy a spike strip in front of someone and they magically just bounce right over them without blowing out their tires. That only happens if they if they spawn in immediately and then you throw a spike strip down. It kind of glitches out the game and it doesn't recognize that the racer is still there and it went over it. So that's when that happens. But 9 times out of 10, your spike strips are working 100% of the time. So I don't know what they're talking about. Maybe it's different for them, but I would say that equipment, the spike strips, is by far the best thing that you can use, especially for faster racers. You can put it after roadblocks, during turns, in the grass, all that sort of stuff, you know? You try to use the EMP, the tracking goes absolutely haywire and doesn't lock on to someone so you can move in for the bust. Oh, and when you finally do lock on to someone and move in for the bust, the AI cops out of nowhere speed up to Mach 6 levels, smash into your car so hard that it almost damages you out and the person gets away. There's a lot to unpack. So, the tracking, I personally have not really used the EMP too much. I use the little shield, and I use the spike strips the most. But I will say that from what I've seen, the tracking doesn't seem so bad. But at the same time, it's not going to be like Hot Pursuit Remastered tracking, where it's like sticky aim, right? It's not going to be aim assist. You got to actually try, you know? I've been hit by a lot of EMPs, so clearly it's working for somebody. And them boys are pretty accurate with it. I try and swerve with it, and they swerve right along with me. So, the AI cops, we've already talked about this. Either get rid of them or nerf the AI cops. That's all you got to do. But as of right now, there's nothing they can really do about it. I can see why people would not like this update because of that, but I don't think that's a big enough turnoff that the whole update is bad. Because what do you say? The whole update was what? Horrible, right? The redeploy feature needs to be reworked. Everyone abuses it by spawning in front of you over and over again, preventing you from being able to enjoy the race. It's not fun having the entire lobby with someone functioning cop equipment after you. It's just obnoxious. 6+ player cops shouldn't be able to spawn in front of you simultaneously. I don't know how to say the word anymore. My mind just is gone, guys. In rapid succession. You don't even have a chance to get away. That is true. They just gotta nerf that sort of stuff 3 to 5 times, or put crazy amounts of time limits in between it. That's all they gotta do. Now, I'm not gonna say maybe 30 seconds. 30 seconds is a little much, right? The race is 30 seconds, but I would say that's probably like a cool 5, 6. No, a cool 10 seconds. Cool if they're gonna put times in there, you know. The ESF is useless as well because all you face is inconsistent damage on a racer's car. I mean, it just depends on it depends on what car you're using, right? If you're using a car with lower damage, of course it's going to do lower damage. If you're using the Range Rover or the truck, of course it's going to do higher damage because the damage profile is already high on top of ESF, right? So I don't really agree with that too much, but I mean, maybe his game is different, you know. You can smack someone in the side really hard and it does next to no damage, even with the enhanced level 2. But again, somehow someone else in the lobby can hit a racer in the rear. That takes out 1/2 of their health bar. So I've noticed more often than not that people will be like, racers will be on 1% health, and it like gives them extra shield for some reason. I don't know why, but it takes forever to actually knock out a racer. Even if it looks like all it takes is 1 hit, it'll take like 2, 3, 4 hits. Even with abilities. That doesn't make any sense. I think that needs to be taken out the game for sure. People on the cop team drum like a bunch of brain dead NPCs. I can't count how many times I've been damaged out by other players for absolutely no reason, which as a result has prevented me from performing bust on top of the NPC cops doing the same thing. That's just people that drive, man. That you can't expect everybody to drive like you, right? Everybody's not going to be good at the game. Everybody, you know, they get off of work. They just want to play the game, right? So they just want to have fun. And as it is right now, the cop challenges count for cops as well. So if you knock out a cop and your cop challenges is knock out 5 racers, and if you knock out 5 cops, like not AI, but real cops, it'll count. So that might be the reason why they're doing that, right? It's gotten so bad that after I complete the last objective to unlock the Colorado cop truck, I'm done with the mode permanently until this update is reworked. It's just unbelievably enjoyable to play. I can see that. I mean, it can get annoying. You just gotta take a break sometimes. Lastly, as a racer in any tier, it's just not enjoyable. You get damaged out so quickly and you can't build up enough NOS to get your car up to speed. That's cap. That's 100% cap. Unless you're talking about when you first respawn. If you're talking about that, then yes, 100% agree. But just regular racing, I would say that you can 100% just farm. If you micro drift, you could, just like a regular race. You micro drift, you can farm crowns easily. Even in S tier, I've been struggling to escape, which is ridiculous. after the fact that you're using a 920 horsepower AMG GT Black Series. I normally win a lot of races with this car in PvP, so that's saying something. Not really. A lot of people are under the impression that if you win against randoms that you're somehow like fast at the game. That's not the case. Once you race actual fast people and you're able to beat them, then you are considered fast. So it's just you racing with a lot of randoms. The AMG GT is not a good S car anyway. It's not a top tier S car at all. So I mean, yeah, you're winning, but who are you racing though? Like, are people constantly crashing out? Are people missing checkpoints? Stuff like that, you know? And a side note, not being able to drive the cop cars in free roam is a huge letdown. Yeah. The Hot Pursuit mode highlights why I hate cop pursuits in modern Need for Speed games. You just ram cars until the health bar is gone. I mean, yeah. And I would say there is some strategy behind it because the cops can be very stupid. And then the racers, they can be very slick as well. So, I would say there is a little bit of strategy. I mean, obviously it's not going to be like you're playing Elden Ring, right? It's not a Soulsborne game where you got to do it over and over and over again to get the attack patterns of the AI cops down. But there's a little bit of strategy. You can't just drive normal and then just expect to win every time, right? And when you are playing as a racer, out of nowhere you get back shots, pun intended, okay, that sends you to oblivion. On top of that, there's a bunch of NPC cop cars. Yeah, I don't know what the devs were thinking by adding NPC cop cars to the Hot Pursuit mode. They definitely didn't playtest this BS because there's no way they played it and found it good. I think they added it just to have a lot more, just to have the races more intense. That's why I think they added it. They didn't have to add it because 4v4 is perfectly fine. We already have 8-player lobbies for races on playlists in general, right? So that's perfectly fine. But I think they just added it so the world doesn't feel as dead, so that the race doesn't feel as as like just 4v4. They wanted it to feel more, even though there's only 4v4. They wanted it to just be filled up, right? And I can agree with that. I like that. And okay, and we're talking about the free roaming player cops again. Okay, something that people have been saying that is kind of getting really annoying is how their car just gets destroyed in a couple seconds. Yes, it is extremely BS when it's because of the absolutely broken respawn system that puts you right in front of cars going Mach Jesus, but in almost any other case, it's simply because the car you are using has a durability of tinfoil. Yes. I mean, if a car is light, then a car is light. If you're using like he said, the Porsche, even the R8, dude, like the R8 gets pummeled. If you're using a very light car, then yes, Ford GT, all of those sort of cars, right? But I would just say, yeah, that broken respawn system, it needs to go. That's terrible. That is something that's terrible, man. I don't know what they're doing here, but that was a bad decision. 100%. And yeah, right. Heavy cars like that Ford F-150, the trucks, the Urus, they still get destroyed even with impact protection in 3 to 4 hits. I'm telling y'all that damage for the cops is insane. Excuse me. I've been sick, guys. You're deploying the spikes either too late or too close to the person behind you. Right, it is the most overpowered weapon in the update. Easily. The spikes are by far the best tech. Easily. The EMP is like maybe a close second. But the spikes are by far the best. Right, EMP, I didn't even read this yet. EMP level 2 is stupid. Like your car literally shuts down. And then boom, they can all just hit you. It's crazy. It's crazy for sure. But you know what? This video is almost 40 minutes. Well, it's about to be 40 minutes long. I hope you guys enjoyed. I just wanted to see what the community was actually talking about for this update. It seems like a lot of people enjoyed the update. They just want the cops to be nerfed. We've already talked about that. They just want all that sort of stuff. And then they just want the cop cars to be able to be raced in free roam, raced in just regular lobbies, PvP lobbies. And that's fine, 100%. If you guys have any feedback for this new update, just go ahead and drop it down in the comment section below. If you guys want any other topics for a video like this, where I go on Reddit and just break down stuff, then by all means, just let me know in the comments down below as well. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to go ahead and like. If you really enjoyed, make sure to go ahead and sub up, and I will see you guys in the next video.